Today we're going to be talking about some angle relationships, and then we're going to use those in proofs once we are comfortable using them. So the first definition is an adjacent angle. Adjacent angles are angles that have the same vertex and they share a common side, and they're non-overlapping. So a picture of that could be like this angle here. And this angle here. These are adjacent angles because they share this vertex A and they share this side, this ray AB. So those are examples of adjacent angles. Non-adjacent angles, that would be, like angle C and angle F here, because they're not joined. They don't have a common vertex. Another example of non-adjacent angles would be if you had angle 1 here and angle 2 here. Those do not share a vertex. You could say, yeah, they share this side right here, but they don't share a vertex. The vertex for angle 1 is right there, and the vertex for angle 2 is right there. They're not the same. The next definition is a complementary angle. Complementary angles are two angles that add to 90 degrees. Now remember, a 90-degree angle, that is a corner. So the way I like to think about it is that these form a corner. Complementary starts with C, and so does the word corner. They both start with C's. So that's how I can think about what they should add up to. So complementary adjacent angles could be something like this, where one angle is 50 and one angle is 40. So they add up to 90, and in this case they are adjacent. And we can have complementary angles that are non-adjacent. These two angles are complementary because they add to 90, but they are non-adjacent. Next definition is supplementary angles. This is two angles that add to 180 degrees. And remember, we called that a straight angle. They form a straight angle. And we can say, well, supplementary starts with S, straight starts with S. So supplementary angles form a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. And we most commonly will see them like as a line like this. One angle is 70 degrees and the other one is 110 degrees. Those two angles are supplementary and adjacent because they share this vertex and this ray. And then you could have supplementary angles that are non-adjacent. (50 plus 130 equals 180. So these two angles are supplementary, but they are non-adjacent. All right, let's look at the next page. We're going to tell whether the angles described are adjacent or not. So BAC, angle BAC, and angle CAD. Yep, those are adjacent because they share the vertex A and they share that side, ray AC. Angle EFG and angle HGF. Nope, because they do not share a vertex. Angle JNM whoops, J and M, and angle L and K. So these two angles share this vertex, but they don't share a side. So that is also a no. Because remember, for the angles to be adjacent, they must share a vertex and a side. Example C, they shared a vertex but no side. And in example B, they shared the side here, FG, but they did not share a vertex. Example number 2 says, name a pair of complementary angles, a pair of supplementary angles, and a pair of adjacent angles. So for complementary, we need two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So 52 plus 38 equals 90. So we want angle ABD and angle BDC. Now, supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180. So we could do angle ABD and angle EDB, because 52 plus 128 equals 180. BDE. And then a pair of adjacent angles would be angle BDC and angle BDE, because those two angles share vertex D and the side BD. Now example B, complementary angles, two angles that add up to 90 degrees, so angle DEF and angle ABC, because 50 plus 40 is equal to 90. So DEF and angle ABC. Supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180, so we could do ABC and angle FEG. And then the two adjacent angles, angle DEF and FEG. Because those two angles share side EF and vertex E. Okay, for examples 3 and 4, I'm going to do part A in both of these, and then I'm going to have you try part B and see if you get the correct answer. So if the angles here are complementary, that means they add up to 90. So if we do 90 minus 52, that gives us 38 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 equals 38 degrees. Then in example 4, it says angle 1 and 2 are supplementary, which means they add to 180 degrees. Given the measure of angle 1, find the measure of angle 2. So we'd have to do 180 minus the given angle 72, which is 108 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 equals 108 degrees. So go and do part B in both those examples, and then once you've done that, unpause the video to see if we got the same answer. All right, these are the answers I got, and again, you can always double check. If you add 12 and 78, you should get 90 degrees because these are complementary angles. Same thing down here, when you're adding 137 and 43, that should give you 180 because they are supplementary angles. All right, on the next page, we have some more complementary supplementary problems. So same thing, I'm going to do letter A for all of these, and then I'm going to have you try letter B's. So if A and B are complementary, find the measure of angle A and B. So these two angles have to add up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to take these two angles, x plus x minus 30, and that equals 90. So then you need to solve that. X plus x is 2x. So then we add 30 to both sides. We get 2x equals 120. And then we divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 60. The question is saying what is the measure of each angle? So the measure of angle A is just x, so 60 degrees. The measure of angle B is 60 minus 30, which is 30 degrees. Now for example 6, we're going to have these two angles, and they are supplementary, which means this angle plus angle B, which is 3x, equals 180. So then x plus 3x is 4x, and it equals 180. Divide both sides by 4, x is equal to 45. So now I have to plug that back in. So the measure of angle A is x, so 45 degrees. The measure of angle B is 3 times 45, which is 135 degrees. And then example 7, I'll do B on this one, and then I'll let you try A. So these two angles form a straight line, so they need to add up to 180. The 4x plus 6 plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 180. So then we'll solve that. Combine like terms first. 4x plus 11x is 15x. 6 minus 6 is 0, so we don't need to write that. So then that equals 180 degrees still. So then we'll do 180 divided by 15. So we divide both sides by 15, and we get 12. So x equals 12. So now we need to plug that back into our angles. So the measure of angle ABD is going to be 4 times 12 plus 6. So we can type that into the calculator, and we get 54. And then for the measure of angle DBC, that's 11 times 12 minus 6. So we type that into the calculator, and we get 126 degrees. All right, so again, pause the video and do these last 3 examples that I didn't do. And once you're done, unpause it and let's see what you get. All right, so look at letter B. For example number 5, this is what I got. I set it up. I solved for x, I got 8, and then I plugged that back in to get my 2 angles. And again, you can always check, do these 2 angles add up to 90? Here's letter B in example number 6. These 2 angles, they have to add up to 180 because they are supplementary. So I got x equals 23, then plug that in for each angle. And then lastly, letter A in example 7, I got 18 for x, and then those two numbers for my angles. And again, since they add up to 90 degrees, you can double check your answer and make sure that you get your correct values. So you really just need to know the difference between complementary angles and supplementary angles and how they can be given to you in pictures or word forms. So I hope that this makes sense. Make sure you like the video and subscribe.